It's been turned to some kind of quasi-satellite country name.
I think it was originally Melvin Lewis or something like that. Hey, Gary, go ahead. Hey, I really like this film. I'm really impressed with this film. Talking the stories about my father, who went through a lot of stuff in World War II. My feeling is when you end up being somewhat of a hero in a war situation, there's a whole world of guilt that goes with that.
I would imagine, yeah.
And this guy, the guy you play, is kind of carrying a load of that too.
Yeah, he's got a big burden on his shoulder. Been carrying that around for a while. Guilt and fear, actually, that the other shoe is going to drop one day and he might have to pay for it. So, hey, so it was 20 years coming, but it bit him right firmly on the buttock.
Isn't that funny too? I think, excuse me, especially when you're a father, when you know that your kid might have to go through what you've been through, and you don't want him to go through that.
No.
Because you know.
Yes, and not that I've been to war, and I don't want to ever go, but I know my dad didn't want that for his kids, and I know that the stupid things I've done in life, I try and ward the kids up, warn them away from things that I may have experienced, that were less than pleasant, say. So, yeah, I mean it was quite natural to be involved in this and to sort of understand it, access it.
Plus, like this character, sometimes you say those things to kids and it kind of falls on deaf ears.
Absolutely.
Because you're not the one to tell them. Even though you're qualified.
You're qualified, but you're not the one to tell them. And not only that, I don't think anybody can tell them. They have to tell themselves. At the end of the day, ultimately, they have to be their own censor.
Would you compare or contrast a little bit what it's like to do those battle scenes in this film as opposed to Braveheart? Was it completely different or was it similar?
Well, it was different because it's a different kind of warfare, so there were different mechanics involved with the whole thing. Powder and shot, and the kind of war it was that people just used to stand there and take turns at shooting one another if they stood there.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
That's amazing to me that they did that.
Well, it's like the old Roman legion. These guys used to march into the jaws of hell, and they didn't, and they think, well, what makes them do that?
Well, sheer numbers.
Sheer numbers, not just that, but because they are more afraid of their superiors than they are of the enemy. And that was the case with many armies, They were more afraid of not doing it than doing it.
Didn't historically, we kind of had almost no business winning that war?
Absolutely no business whatsoever. I mean, I don't know how it happened. It's a mystery. It's baffling to me because, and I've read many history books now, and it's like, how did we do that? I mean, it was, they were outmanned, outclassed, outmoneyed, outweaponed, out everything. And they never won a battle. Or they did. They won some. They won some battles, but very few. And it was just mainly, I think, because it was the hare and the tortoise kind of thing. It was, they were underestimated. King George only sent the second stringers out to deal with the scab on his empire, and it was like, they didn't know where to find him. I mean, where was the capital? There wasn't one. There wasn't a country.
When you get rid of all of the, or I guess as an actor you have to at some point get rid of all the mechanics around you and get lost in the moment. Is that still the same process? Is that easy?
Yeah, it's still the same deal. It's not too hard. It's pretty easy to isolate. The more relaxed you are about everything, the easier that it becomes.
You have to be free?
Yeah. You got to be in a good mood, And the other thing is so relaxed that you don't care if it even screws up. That something might happen. You're not even quite sure what. But that something truthful may occur. But you have to be very relaxed in order to do that. Go from a neutral place. If you go in all angst-ridden, you've got to get rid of that before you can get to what you need. That's what I find anyway. But I may be weird.
I don't think so. Nice to see you.
Yeah,
Hey,
good to see you, Gary.
Yeah,
Cheers.
We're proud of you.